The reason I think why AI criticism is growing stronger is because people are just fed up with everything being AI. You can't even text somebody without them responding using a copy paste chat GPT response that they put no input into. Like, I can understand putting some input into it and then like saying, hey, help me formulate a response off of what I'm saying, make it professional or make it sound not so mean because I'm not trying to be mean or whatever the case. But some people just let it do it all for them and they don't put any effort into it themselves. But let's see what ABC News says about it. Calls. No volume. Where am I at? There we go. Let's back it up.
AI is apparently losing public support. Watch as UCF grads boo this real estate executive's speech about the daunting changes they face.
The rise of artificial intelligence is the next industrial revolution.
They're booing, but she's right. It is the next industrial revolution because AI is going to be in everything, thinking for itself. Right now, people are probably booing because it's either one, taking their jobs, two, like I said, with the, everybody's using it to respond for them, or three, like we're just tired of the AI slop. But it's right, it's going to be the next industrial revolution because it's literally going into anything industrial, like anything you can think of, it's going into it. Lost me. I gotta get some new headphones. I gotta get some that I can plug up to this computer here that doesn't disconnect on me. Let's see what's going on. Back it up 5 seconds because they all can hear it, but I can't.
Now, that's just part of a growing wave of backlash over AI stealing jobs, hiking electricity rates, hurting the environment, and a number of other concerns. Axios senior AI reporter Madison Mills is here for more. Hi, Madison. You've been following this closely, but people have been raising concerns about AI since it was first introduced to the general public. So how is this new wave of backlash different?
Well, in part, it's different because the public sentiment around AI is really nosediving.
I think it's different because there's probably a lot of people who supported it originally and now are seeing some negative results from it. So now they're booing. I'm not saying that's the case for all of them booing, but I think that might be a big part of it.
We've said in our reporting at Axios that if AI was a political candidate, it would be losing by a landslide, and people would be asking whether it's already time to drop out of the race. And this is kind of colliding at these commencement speeches. We had a former Google executive, Eric Schmidt, talking on stage at a commencement speech, and students going so far as walking out. Gen Z in particular is an outspoken group on this topic because they're one of the groups most likely to already see their economic prospects really taking a hit off the back of the inclusion of AI in workplaces. We've seen entry-level work take.
They want to include it in workplaces. They want to put it into everything, but then tell us not to use it. Like, are we supposed to use it or not use it? I think that we should use it as a tool, but not as a replacement for knowledge itself. I think that we should be using it to learn what we're doing as we're doing it, not just having it do it for us. Between AI, sorry, I got something on my tongue, I guess, hair from my beard, or I don't know. Anyways, between AI thinking, doing, saying, feeling for us on all different kinds of levels, and our short attention spans due to TikTok, like 22 seconds. If y'all know from one of my last videos, somebody had the audacity to comment that, which I found it hysterical. But okay, I'm gonna go into depth. The reason I found it funny was because he thought that 22 seconds. I said, what did I say? most people's attention span is 15 seconds. He said, that's funny, or he said, I clicked off the video at 22 seconds. So you're saying that you're 7 seconds longer than average? Like, you're saying that your attention span is still short. It's just, longer than 15 seconds. Trying to discredit my 15 seconds thing, but you still clicked off. Anyways, if you're watching this, you have an attention span longer than 22 seconds, because we are, how far in are we? We're 5 minutes in. So if you are this far in, I do appreciate you hanging out. Anyways, what was I saying about the workplace? It's hard because it's in everything and they don't want us to use it, but we got to use it. I mean, it is a good tool, but we can't use it to replace everything.
Taking a strong hit because of the implementation of AI tools in workplaces, taking over jobs like assistant and intern that typically would be ripe for those young folks. So it's not surprising to AI reporters that you would hear these commencement speeches getting booed, but unfortunately for the speakers, it seems like it was a little bit of a surprise for them.
Now, you say AI executives aren't doing much to quell this backlash. Why not?
There's such a huge disconnect between the messaging from the AI CEOs and the public. For one thing, the CEOs are messaging to investors who they want to give them money so that they can continue to build out their AI labs and produce more supply of AI, which we call compute capacity, to be able to reach demand and continue to grow their revenue. The pitch to investors is very different than the pitch to consumers. When you're talking to investors, you want to say, this could take over jobs. It could save companies money, so much so that they're willing to pay the AI labs more because they can cut back on staff. That might sound like a good investment.
That's not how they're investing this or pitching to investors. It's got to be about money to investors. To investors, it's going to be like, this is going to put millions in your pocket because people are addicted to this, or people are going to buy this product just because AI is in it, even though they've got a toaster that doesn't need a computer chip in it. This is the market that they're marketing off of, because these people that are rich, they do not keep up with the times. They are only told what they're told, and that's what they know, and then otherwise they're off wherever doing whatever, and they don't care. So they don't know what's going on in everyday life of normal people. So to say that anything other than the people pitching this to investors is saying something about putting more money into their pocket is a little inaccurate, but
investment opportunity, but it sort of lands like a thud among the consumer base that also some of these AI labs, especially OpenAI through ChatGPT, they want consumers to be paying them as well. So as these companies plan to go public later this year or early 2027, we could see a little bit of a shift in their communications messaging.
But you say global opinion is more positive. Any sense of why sentiment is different overseas compared to in the U.S.?
This is something that's happened historically with tech revolutions. We see, especially in developing countries, that in the survey data, there's sometimes a more positive view towards the technology. I would also add, though, that it's sometimes difficult to trust the survey data. You have in China, for example, and some other Southeast Asian countries, a lot of positive sentiment around AI. It's difficult to suss out how much of that is the true public sentiment around the technology versus a broader national push to get people.
I think over there they're probably using it closer to its original design use case scenario. And over here, we're just using it for, like I said earlier, about texting back in an argument and letting it do all the thinking, feeling, everything for us.
To adopt to the tech. So I think that's important to note. But more broadly, we see in countries where there's less white collar work, you're also seeing a less negative public sentiment around AI, which again is not super surprising because the messaging around the technology in the US has been that it's going to replace people's jobs. So you are starting to see
well, do a better job and you won't have to feel like you're going to be replaced. At the end of the day, there's certain things that computers are never going to be able to do, because sometimes let's say something's homemade. You can't say it's homemade if it's factory made with an AI machine. Sometimes people want a one-of-a-kind piece. They don't want something that everybody and their mama's got. They want something that is one-of-a-kind, unique. There's only one of one in the world, and there might be one similar, but there's nothing like it.
A little bit more of that positive sentiment around the globe compared to the U.S.
Senior AI reporter at Axios, Madison Mills. Madison, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I guess my finishing thoughts are what I just said. But, at the end of the day, AI is a great tool, but it is not to replace everything you do, say, feel, all of that. Like, you got to put some human interaction into some things. You've got to feel it. You've got to do it. You just got to quit letting ChatGPT do everything for you. And if you go down the route that you're on, then yeah, one of these days it's going to replace you. But you can't criticize it on one hand and on the other hand say, oh, I let ChatGPT do all of this for me. And I say ChatGPT, I don't even use ChatGPT anymore. I use Gemini because it's built into my paid subscription. But I use it to learn. I don't use it to think for me. If I'm using my Gemini AI, it is to bounce ideas back and forth. And if I'm being honest, a lot of times I don't even go with what it suggests, but it throws enough ideas out that I can formulate a new one. So anyways, thanks for hanging out.